I seek refuge in God from Satan the rejected. Peace everyone. The topic selected today is about how people reject the Quran or the wrong responses to the Quran. For this conjuring, there are about 12 different branches of wrong responses to the Quran. We are going to start with the simplest form of wrong response and proceed towards the more serious responses. We will start off with looking at how people disregard the scripture, neglect paying attention, and that they rejected it usually even before considering the merits of what the scripture offers. About disregarding scripture. Chapter 1857. And who is more unjust than one who is reminded of the verses of his Lord but turns away from them and forgets what his hands have put forth? Indeed, we have placed over their hearts coverings, lest they understand it, and in their ears deafness. And if you invite them to guidance, they will never be guided, then, ever. Chapter 21:1. The time of their account has approached for the people, while they are in heedlessness turning away. Chapter 21:24. Or have they taken gods besides him? Say, produce your proof. This is the message for those with me and the message of those before me. But most of them do not know the truth, so they are turning away. Chapter 46:26. And we had certainly established them in such as we have not established you, and we made for them hearing and vision and intellect. But their hearing and vision and intellect availed them not from anything of the punishment when they were continually rejecting the signs of God, and they were enveloped by what they used to ridicule. Chapter 7:51. Who took their religion as distraction and amusement and whom the worldly life deluded. So today we will forget them just as they forgot the meeting of this day of theirs and for having rejected our verses. Chapter 2126. God will say, thus did our signs come to you, and you forgot them, and thus will you this day be forgotten. About not paying attention. Chapter 47:24. Then do they not reflect upon the Quran, or are there locks upon their hearts? Chapter 21:2. No mention comes to them anew from their Lord except that they listen to it while they are at play. Chapter 21:10. We have certainly sent down to you a book in which is your mention. Then will you not reason? Chapter 56:81 and 82. Then is it to this statement that you are indifferent? And make it part of your profile that you deny? About rejecting before considering. Chapter 23:105. It will be said, were not my verses recited to you and you used to deny them? Chapter 27:83-85. And warn of the day when we will gather from every nation a company of those who deny our signs, and they will be driven in rows, until, when they arrive at the place of judgment, he will say, did you deny my signs while you encompassed them not in knowledge, or what was it that you were doing? And the decree will befall them for the wrong they did, and they will not be able to speak. Chapter 6:66. But your people have denied it while it is the truth. Say, I am not over you a manager. Next we will be looking at how people are repelled, diverted and do not believe. About repelling and roping others to stay away. Chapter 3:82. And whoever turned away after that, they were the defiantly disobedient. Chapter 6:26. And they prevent others from him and are themselves remote from him. And they do not destroy except themselves, but they perceive it not. About being diverted because of pride. Chapter 7:146. I will turn away from my signs those who are arrogant upon the earth without right, and if they should see every sign, they will not believe in it. And if they see the way of consciousness, they will not adopt it as a way, but if they see the way of error, they will adopt it as a way. That is because they have denied our signs and they were heedless of them. About not believing. Chapter 16:104-105. Indeed, those who do not believe in the verses of God, God will not guide them, and for them is a painful punishment. They only invent falsehood who do not believe in the verses of God, and it is those who are the liars. Chapter 34:31. And those who disbelieve say, we will never believe in this Quran nor in that before it. But if you could see when the wrongdoers are made to stand before their Lord, refuting each other's words. Those who were oppressed will say to those who were arrogant, if not for you, we would have been believers. Chapter 13:1. Alif, Lam, Mim, Ra. These are the verses of the book, and what has been revealed to you from your Lord is the truth, but most of the people do not believe. In the next section, we focus on those who hate the truth, respond negatively using speech and distort the words of God. About those who hate the truth. Chapter 47:9. That is because they disliked what Allah revealed, so He rendered worthless their deeds. Chapter 61:7-8. And who is more unjust than one who invents about God untruth while he is being invited to Islam? And God does not guide the wrongdoing people. They want to extinguish the light of God with their mouths, but God will perfect His light, although the disbelievers dislike it. Chapter 3:118. O you who have believed, do not take as intimates those other than yourselves, for they will not spare you any ruin. They wish you would have hardship. Hatred has already appeared from their mouths, and what their breasts conceal is greater. We have certainly made clear to you the signs, if you will use reason. About those who ask for replacement. Chapter 10:15. And when our verses are recited to them as clear evidences, those who do not expect the meeting with us say, bring us a Quran other than this or change it. Say, it is not for me to change it on my own accord. I only follow what is revealed to me. Indeed I fear, if I should disobey my Lord, the punishment of a tremendous day. Chapter 10:39. Rather, they have denied that which they encompass not in knowledge and whose interpretation has not yet come to them. Thus did those before them deny. Then observe how was the end of the wrongdoers. About those who mock. Chapter 6:68. And when you see those who engage in offensive discourse concerning our verses, then turn away from them until they enter into another conversation. And if Satan should cause you to forget, then do not remain after the reminder with the wrongdoing people. Chapter 4:140. And it has already come down to you in the book that when you hear the verses of God recited, they are denied by them and ridiculed, so do not sit with them until they enter into another conversation. Indeed, you would then be like them. Indeed God will gather the hypocrites and disbelievers in hell altogether. About those who argue against truth. Chapter 22:3. And of the people is he who disputes about God without knowledge and follows every rebellious devil. Chapter 22:8. And of the people is he who disputes about God without knowledge or guidance or an enlightening book from Him. Chapter 40 verse 4. No one disputes concerning the signs of God except those who disbelieve, so be not deceived by their uninhibited movement throughout the land. Chapter 40:35. Those who dispute concerning the signs of God without an authority having come to them, great is hatred of them in the sight of God and in the sight of those who have believed. Thus does God seal over every heart belonging to an arrogant tyrant. Chapter 40:56. Indeed, those who dispute concerning the signs of God without any authority having come to them, there is not within their breasts except pride, the extent of which they cannot reach. So seek refuge in God. Indeed, it is He who is the hearing, the seeing. Chapter 17:41. And we have certainly diversified the contents in this Quran that mankind may be reminded, but it does not increase the disbelievers except in aversion. Chapter 17:89. And we have certainly diversified for the people in this Quran from every kind of example, but most of the people refused anything except disbelief. Chapter 18:54. And we have certainly diversified in this Quran for the people from every kind of example, but man has ever been, most of anything, prone to dispute. Chapter 41:26. And those who disbelieve say, do not listen to this Quran and speak noisily during the recitation of it that perhaps you will overcome. About arguing against truth using falsehood. Chapter 1856. And we send not the messengers except as bringers of good tidings and warners. And those who disbelieve dispute by using falsehood to attempt to invalidate thereby the truth, and have taken my verses, and that of which they are warned, in ridicule. Chapter 45. The people of Noah denied before them, and the disbelieving factions after them, and every nation intended a plot for their messenger to seize him, and they disputed by using falsehood to attempt to invalidate thereby the truth. So I seized them, and how terrible was my penalty. Chapter 1781. And say, truth has come, and falsehood has departed. Indeed is falsehood, by nature, ever bound to depart. About humans distorting the truth. Chapter 4140. Indeed, those who inject deviation into our verses are not concealed from us. So, is he who is cast into the fire better, or he who comes secure on the day of resurrection? Do whatever you will, indeed, he is seen of what you do. Chapter 2251. But the ones who strove against our verses, seeking to cause failure, those are the companions of hellfire. Chapter 4083. And when their messengers came to them with clear proofs, they merely rejoiced in what they had of knowledge, but they were enveloped by what they used to ridicule. Chapter 4730. And if we willed, we could show them to you, and you would know them by their mark, but you will surely know them by the tone of their speech. And God knows your deeds. Chapter 2272. And when our verses are recited to them as clear evidences, you recognize in the faces of those who disbelieve disapproval. They are almost on the verge of assaulting those who recite to them our verses. Say, then shall I inform you of what is worse than that? It is the fire which God has promised those who disbelieve, and wretched is the destination. We have come to the end of the reflection. I hope this video did not invoke any negative reaction in you, and that you are one of the ones to receive mercy from the Most Merciful. Peace.